Ask Tom on Home Show.
Mike from Stevenson Ranch, California, has a question about an air cleaner.
He's not sure his system can handle what he wants to do, Tom. Okay, so Mike writes to us, I'm looking to install a whole house air cleaner and would like to run it all day to help with allergies and asthma. I currently have a single-speed air handler on my 16-year-old HVAC and know that it would cost a lot to run that fan all day, especially since I have 2 units. Is it possible to replace the handler motor with a more efficient variable speed blower, or would it require a whole new system? What say you, Tom?
I guess if you're one of those weird engineering guys, you could probably figure it out. But no, the answer is, for most cases, you're not going to do that. But your intuition that running that motor is not an efficient motor. And that's not how they really measure a lot of the efficiency. They measure the air conditioning condensing unit and all that, the compressor and those kind of things. But that thing costs a lot of money to run 24 hours a day, and it's not supposed to run. It'll make a mess of your system, and you'll get all kinds of weird stuff happening on your system. That is only supposed to run when the air conditioning is on, because if not, whatever humidity it picks up, it dumps back into ductwork and cause a mold issue like crazy in your ductwork and a lot of other issues too, including making you sick. And that's on the backside of your air filter, which is not going to clean all the air in your house and make your house all lovely and totally hermetically sealed different than when you go outside. It doesn't work that way. A filter on an air conditioner does one thing. It keeps the air conditioning system clean, so it runs efficiently. If you have allergies and things from the outside, the one thing you don't want is your air conditioning system dirty to where it's aggravating something you have. It will not cure anything you have. It will not clean all the air in your house. It will not pick all the dust up. It will not do those things. So what you want to do is just wrong to begin with. If you have a medical issue, then a HEPA filter next to where you're sitting. Follow some of the medical guidelines if that's a problem, and it can be. Coming into your home, getting your clothes off, don't bring the allergens and stuff from the outside to the inside of the home. You have to change your lifestyle. Putting a box on your air conditioning system and running it all the time is total nonsense. Please don't go down that road. I can't stress enough, it's not going to do a thing for you except cost you money. And even if it's a placebo, it's an expensive one.
Yeah, I hear you, Tom. And I've seen systems that can be put in, humidifiers and other kind of air handling things that you can put in there. Well, what about the idea of getting these freestanding units you can put around the house that cleanse the air? Could that be a better solution?
And I did make myself clear when I said get the HEPA filters. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Charlie. Put one next to where you sit when you watch TV. Put one next to where you sleep, hopefully a nice quiet one. So when you're sleeping, you're breathing this HEPA filter air that's just around you in that area. I want you to think about in the wintertime when the sun's coming through the window at a low angle and you see the dust kind of just floating around in the air. I know everybody has seen this one time in their life. That dust is not going to soup down through the hallway into the return air, into the filter, and then come back super clean and replace where the dust was. That dust goes up and it goes down, it goes up, and you're breathing it as you're watching it. That's why you want the filter right there blowing where it's picking up that dust in that particular small area where your body is. And that's what they do in medical rooms too.
Sure. Okay, but I'm going to ask you about this because I've heard you talk about this, that an air conditioning system should exchange the air in the room so many times. Doesn't that mean that it's also changing that dust out with it?
Well, let's put it this way. You need 5 air exchanges an hour in a room to be a healthy room. Whether that could be just cracking a window or just normal activity, people coming in and out of the outside, and you get all this air exchange back and forth, that's fine. In commercial buildings, they have units in the air conditioner that brings in fresh air from the outside, but it filters it so it doesn't bring in more dust in, and it also goes through the air conditioning or heating, depending on the time of year, and conditions it so when it gets into the living space, you have controlled infiltration. And you can do that on an air conditioning system on a home too. You can buy a mechanical system that does that. In the warmer climates, they call them energy recovery systems. In the northern climates, they call them heat exchange or air-to-air heat exchangers. to where they bring in fresh air. And in northern climates where you're in Alaska or Lake Placid or whatever, New York, where you're shut down inside 40 below zero, those things are really important. But to make sure the air is filtered and heated first before it mixes with the rest of the house. So those things are available. Or you can do something simple like we talk about on the show here in the Houston area, where you just have a small duct that balances out the pressures in the home, and it is filtered and it goes through the system. So it's controlled infiltration, and that will bring fresh air in too. But you can't live in a vacuum without fresh air. You will die.
We don't want you to die. We want you to send us questions. Click on the Ask Tom.
Need listeners.
Yes, and then you can write. You can write to us. You can send videos to us, and when you get there, when you get to this form here, make sure you click on the send a picture and send us that, because that helps us give you a better answer, and that's what we want to do, and that's why we post a new one of these every day on our Facebook page, our Home Show Radio YouTube channel, of course, at HomeShowRadio.com.